Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about lessons learned from 20 years of being a filmmaker in how to become an authentic creator on YouTube. So my name's Darius, I'm a filmmaker. I have over 20 years of filmmaking experience that has taken me all over the world, and not just all over the world to make films, but it's offered me the incredible opportunity to travel to so many different places, meet hundreds of different people from many cultures around the world. And in all of that, it's really exposed me to so many different ways of expressing one's authentic self, from, wild, crazy filmmakers in New York to going and connecting with tribes in the Amazon. I've explored so many different aspects of culture, and that has really showed me that for me, a value that I really find most important in my life is to express myself authentically. And I feel like I've learned over the years to have a little radar that connects and picks up with other people who are in their authentic expression. And also, as a documentary filmmaker, I've also cultivated the capacity to support people who might be becoming shy, nervous, a little bit contracted in front of the camera, because, this process of speaking into the dark eye of Sauron, this lens here, it can be really scary. And, most of my career has been on the other side of the camera. I've actively avoided putting myself in the hot seat that I sit right now because, I also found it scary. But what I do know is that with time, learning, persistence, and, strengthening your muscles of the craft, it can become a much more enjoyable and natural process to sit in front of the camera and share your voice, as I'm doing now. So for me, I think one of the key aspects of why it's so important to share your authentic voice in 2025 as an emerging YouTube creator is because there is going to be such an inundation of AI generated content, particularly coming over the next year. And it's going to be very, very easy to get lost in the noise. And so if you can find the capacity to develop, cultivate, and structure yourself to really connect with who I am as a person, what are my values, and then how do I share those values with my core wisdom, my core genius, my core knowing into the world through the platform of YouTube, that will really have an impact on people, because there is so much rubbish out there. There's so much posturing, there's so much imitating, there's so many people doing things that, to me, I can just feel the insincerity of it. And so for me, one of the values that I've been working with to express my authentic expression to you is I don't have a teleprompter here. I've got some notes down here on my laptop that every now and then I might gaze down on. So far I haven't needed to, but my desire is to just trust myself enough to know that when I open my mouth and express to you, I can bring the experience and wisdom that's going to support you on your journey. And so, drilling down deeper into what that is and how that can support you, I've found that over time, working with hundreds of different subjects, particularly through my documentary work, the real key to bringing in your authentic expression to an audience is learning to trust and believe in yourself, to really find the place within you that allows you to come through and connect to an audience in a way that is really the only way you can be you. Maybe not the only way, but as in you are the only one that can express yourself as you. And so what I've noticed over time is, obviously, repetition and experience is going to be really supportive, but some practices that I do is to first off, like, really acknowledge the fears that I have. And so I have a really big journaling practice. And so I'm endlessly taking notes about the things that scare me, the imposter syndrome that comes up when I'm like starting a new YouTube channel or whatever it is. And I just write them out and just be like, well, that's interesting that I've written these pieces and that's there. And not to say it's wrong, but just to take note of it, and then also just to kind of let it go and leave it on the page to the best of my ability. And if it comes up, it comes up. That's also welcome and okay, because the worst thing you can do is like shame yourself for being maybe a little bit out of your like most expressive, authentic expression because you're a bit scared. That's part of the journey. And then another really key practice that I've been working with myself in running this YouTube channel is like every time I go to create a video, I just take a moment. I get the camera rolling so I don't have to stand up again, and I just sit back. And I take 3 deep breaths like that. There's a psychotherapist and meditation teacher, Tara Brach, who once had an amazing podcast about the sacred pause and the simplicity of 3 breaths to really reset you. And so, like things like that is what I'm drawing from like my vast array of toolkits to support me to create this channel. And then these are the parts of education that I want to bring to you to take you on this journey of becoming a creator, because I see so much potential in particularly and specifically YouTube as a platform to connect. Because right now the algorithm has really pivoted to support the new channels in connecting with the very specific audience that they deem you are trying to reach. And if you can really support and nurture your videos into really meeting the algorithm's capacity to understand the audience you're trying to connect with, there is so much potential for really building not just a meaningful relationship with your audience on YouTube, but actually there's the opportunity to build a very lucrative business to support you to be independent. And that is meeting my need of freedom, because I really want to be free in life. And I've really struggled over the years to hold down a day job. I was a terrible waiter. I was a terrible data entry clerk. I was a terrible bartender. These things just never worked for me because I was too much of a daydreamer, didn't do very well with instructions. And now being able to, for the most part, have been an independent filmmaker for my career, I can now see how I can channel those skills into now being a YouTube creator and business owner through this platform. Because, for me in my industry, I've really noticed how the implications of AI are really creating a lot of scarcity in that market, and many jobs that were once available are becoming sucked up by people being able to implement those jobs through AI, and the belts therefore are just getting drastically tightened. And so I'm trying to set myself up with a platform, with a career, with a business that I can really navigate and ride the hurdles of this crazy time we're living in. And I want to support you to do that. So this channel is really in service of supporting you to learn and develop your capacity as a creator online. And, there's so much nuance and so much specific skill set that over time I'll unpack in more and more detail. But yeah, I think, speaking to my unique expression, what I feel like I can really do is like bring this piece around encouraging you to say, yes, today is the day, make it happen today, because the potential for seizing this opportunity is so ripe, and we just don't know what's going to happen in the future with obviously the algorithm can change, but also just the influx of so much more content that is going to come down the pipeline. Already I believe there's some crazy amount of like 250 hours every second being uploaded to YouTube. And so like if you can find a way to really cut through all the chaff and noise and express something authentic, share your wisdom, your knowledge, your genius with the world, and do that in an authentic way that people can really resonate with you as a human being, not some strange pixelated image behind the screen, but really feel you, feel your heart, then I believe there's a lot of potential to cultivate something special here. So if that all feels resonant to you, please support me by subscribing to my channel. That's a really meaningful way for you to say, well done, you're stepping out and following your heart, following your vision, following your desire to be free in the world, and let me know how I can support you. So please do leave comments and questions in the comments below, and look forward to growing with you on this journey.